President Trump wants to give his personal attack dog at DOJ a lifetime judicial appointment. His name is Emil Bove, Trump's former criminal defense attorney.
Bove asked us to base a prosecutorial decision not on the facts, not on the law, but on a political calculation.
Bove cannot be trusted to be impartial on the Court of Appeals.
Emil Bove III, you may recognize him from being at Trump's side during the now infamous Stormy Daniels hush money trial. Well, now he's Trump's nominee for the Third Circuit Court of Appeals and apparent judicial bogeyman.
That video we just played from the Justice Connection is just one of many voices from both sides of the aisle warning senators to vote against Bove's confirmation. The reason? Alleged legal and ethical misconduct. Those two former DOJ lawyers we saw earlier allege Bove was behind the quid pro quo deal between New York City Mayor Eric Adams and the Trump administration to drop the corruption investigation into Adams. They also allege that he, Bove, was the one who ordered the list of January the 6th investigators be made and was the one who later fired several J6 prosecutors.
And then there's the bombshell report from the New York Times this week that outlines how Bove was allegedly willing to ignore court orders to further President Trump's mass deportation campaign. The report relies on a DOJ whistleblower by the name of Erez Ruveni, who says he was fired after questioning the Salvadorian deportation flights earlier this year. Ruveni says as that legal battle was playing out, Bove insisted that, quote, the planes needed to take off no matter what, and said the DOJ would need to consider telling the courts F you and ignoring any order that would halt the deportations before they could take place.
In response to Bove's nomination, Democrats are raising the alarm. Senator Cory Booker posted to X, Emil Bove has no respect for the rule of law and court orders. He does not belong on the federal bench. And his colleague from California, Senator Adam Schiff, says the nomination to the federal judiciary is just the first step.
Why is Donald Trump looking to him now in the Court of Appeals? He wants someone who will unquestionably and without concern for the morality or immorality, the ethics or lack of ethics, the lawfulness or the lawlessness, will do and order and opine the way Donald Trump wants. He wants just a complete and utter sycophant like Emil Bove on the Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, some conservatives do oppose this nomination, including Greg Nunziata, the executive director for the Society for the Rule of Law, calling Bove unacceptable and sending a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee urging them to reject him. Nunziata writes that Bove's record is, quote, deeply incompatible with a lifetime appointment to the circuit judgeship, but Mike Davis with the Article 3 Project insists his resume makes him qualified. Take a listen to what he had to say on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast.
The FedSoc types like Ed Whalen wailing about Emil Bove, saying somehow that Emil Bove is not good enough. He graduated at the top of his class at Georgetown Law School. He was a federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York, the premier federal district in the country. He was a national security prosecutor. He was the acting deputy attorney general, the acting number 2 at the Justice Department, and he was President Trump's lawyer.
So look, I think that it's easy to get lost in the sort of weeds here where people are talking about Emil Bove's academic qualifications or Mike Davis disparaging FedSoc.
We were talking about academic qualifications in just the other segment, Niall.
Yes, well, I mean, we can talk about his qualifications if you like. I don't think he's unqualified in terms of his academic record, but that's not really the argument. The argument, particularly in the New York Times piece, does go to the idea of him conspiring in lawlessness, allegedly. And it comes from this whistleblower, Erez Ruveni, who had worked in the Justice Department for a long time and notes that he, Ruveni, had previously defended some of the more controversial elements of Trump's migration policies. And I think the key point here, Robby, it seems to me, is this meeting that Ruveni outlines, where Trump is about to invoke the Alien Enemies Act. That's very controversial. The idea is that as soon as he does so, there are going to be these flights to El Salvador carrying illegal migrants. Mm-hmm. Now, what then happens, according to Ruveni, is he raises the issue, Ruveni does, well, what happens if a judge steps in? And Bove in very profane terms, says, well, it basically doesn't matter, we'll ignore them.
According to this person.
According to this person. Now, this person says that there are many other people in the room. We shall see what they have to say about it. But if that is true, if that is borne out, then obviously that is not the conduct of someone who is fit to be a circuit court judge.
Mm. Yeah, I'm looking for what, because I have not followed this particularly closely, what Republicans say in response, and it's mostly, I mean, I don't actually think there's much Republican nomination to him. We read the quotes by this Greg Nunziata figure, who's, I see running for the Bulwark, so, you know, make of that
Trump
what you,
critical, Trump
what you
skeptical.
will. What I am seeing is conservative MAGA world people putting pressure, tweeting any Republican who doesn't vote for this to confirm this guy is going to face our wrath. Kind of a Pete Hegseth situation again when Iowa Senator Joni Ernst was uncertain, and somebody else was uncertain too, facing the pressure to do it. So that's really what's happening here. I mean, I think that they should do what judges say, obviously. You shouldn't, it's not a good policy to tell the administration to ignore what judges say, because that sets you up for obvious confrontation that you don't want in terms of just being the wrong thing to do. So if he did do that, that was wrong, but I have no doubt Republicans will fall in line to support him. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's purely about the politics or what the party line vote is. Certainly not that he used the F word. No, I mean, no, right. But I mean, the point is that we see and hear people like Stephen Miller, as well as Trump, but particularly Stephen Miller, constantly talking about judicial coups and language like this, plainly setting the groundwork to ignore court orders. That is illegal, and it is setting up a situation where the president and his allies are going to claim the right to act illegally. Now, if Emil Bove is part of that effort in relation to the Alien Enemies Act or anything else, that's obviously a major problem. And I think there is a really substantive issue here. Now, of course, Bove has the right to offer contrary evidence or say why he didn't claim that he didn't say the things of which he is being accused. But if he did do so, then that's someone who shouldn't be in any high office at all, in my opinion. All right, next up is Lisa Murkowski switching parties and becoming a Democrat. We will discuss after this.